Hershey, Pennsylvania.
Hi there, Mark. Thanks very much. And I am sitting here in their first live interview together. Senator John McCain and Governor Sarah Palin. Good to have you both with us. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We are in a financial crisis, clearly. We are expecting further layoffs and further banks to go belly up. Why should the American people believe and feel that the two of you have your hands on the wheel and can take us out of this?
Well, because we have a plan of action to get America's economy going again, Maria, and it has to do with a wide range of prescriptions, but one of them is to keep people in their homes. Look, it was the housing crisis that started this, okay? Fannie and Freddie, it was the catalyst that blew this whole thing up. And frankly, the administration is not doing what I think they should do, and that's go in and buy out these bad mortgages, give people mortgages they can afford, stabilize home values, and start them back up again. They did that during the Depression. It was called the Homeowners Loan Corporation. We got to keep taxes low. We got to cut spending. We got to find alternative fuels, including offshore drilling and nuclear power. And we have to have a positive agenda for job creation. But I'd like to start with keeping people in their homes.
So over the short term, your plan is to keep people in their homes and buy those mortgages. Over the longer term?
Over the longer term, as happened in the, by the way, during the Great Depression, was that over time, money came into the Treasury. Obviously, we have to stabilize our financial institution. We have to unfreeze credit. How do you do all that? You create jobs in America. And we can do that in a broad variety of ways. And one of them is to stop this $700 billion transfer to countries that don't like us very much. Now, I know the price of oil is down temporarily, and that's reflective of a lot of conditions in the world. But we still have to free ourselves of our dependence on foreign oil, because over time, it's still a finite resource.
Governor Palin, what about that? Now oil's around $60 a barrel. Is it still an important issue to become energy independent, and how do you do it?
Now is our opportunity to seize this and to be able to invest in the domestic solutions that are here now, for that offshore drilling that is safe and responsible, for the nuclear that we need to tap into, and the alternative sources. And yeah, drilling for the sources that we know are here, and flowing that natural gas in the pipelines that we're building up there in Alaska also. Now is the opportunity that we have, and we'd better seize it. We cannot lull ourselves into this false sense of security just because the price of a barrel of oil today is $64. It's about half of what it had been, I think, even when we were speaking last, Maria. But no, now's our opportunity. The domestic solutions that are there, we tap into them. We become less and less beholden then on foreign sources of energy, and we circulate, as he says, these hundreds of billions of dollars a year in our own country, creating jobs for Americans.
Senator, there are a lot of...
Funny hit. Look who we're dependent on. Look at the part of the world we're dependent on. Look at Hugo Chavez. Look at the place. It's a matter of national security. And by the way, nuclear power, which I'm a big proponent of, as you know, reduces greenhouse gas emissions dramatically. So it's environmental, it's national security, and it's an economic issue. It's not the only answer, but building 45 nuclear power plants creates 700,000 jobs in America.
Speaking of national security, Joe Biden said that if Obama is elected, he will be tested in the first 6 months. In your view, who is most likely to test him, and how would you and Obama handle it differently? Well,
I've been tested, to start with. Second of all, Senator Biden was right. Senator Biden was correct. Senator Biden, if Sarah or I had said that, can you imagine the reaction? Scaring Americans, etc. But Senator Biden had it right. This is an untested individual who has been wrong on the things he's been tested about. He still refuses to acknowledge that he was wrong about the surge. When Russia committed aggression against Georgia, he asked Georgia to exercise restraint. The list goes on. Said he would sit down with the Castro brothers, Chavez, and Ahmadinejad without any preconditions, thereby legitimizing their radical, aggressive, anti-American, anti-peace positions. So I agree with Joe Biden. I couldn't have said it myself first, but he's right. This is an inexperienced person who so far has exercised bad judgment about national security.
It wasn't just Joe Biden, though. That was confirmed by Madeleine Albright, too, saying, of course, he was stating fact that there would be that testing of someone who is inexperienced, not ready to lead, as Joe Biden had been telling us all along in the primaries, that Barack Obama is not ready to be commander-in-chief.
Do you worry about the attacks? I know I asked the question, but there's so much mudslinging going on. People really want answers and solutions here. There are many issues I'd like to get to. In addition to taxes, unions. Why haven't you made the union issue a campaign issue? That is the right to have a secret ballot. Why isn't this a major issue on your agenda?
You know, we've talked about it a lot, and unfortunately, there's 3 or 4 issues that you can get out strongly, but this is, we've been talking about it for a long time. This is a threat to the fundamental of labor management relations. It's fundamental to democracy, the right to have a secret ballot. The way that Senator Obama envisions, and the unions, and this is their big push, and they've gotten commitments from Senator Obama and Senator Biden. Union organizer goes to your house and says, hey, Joe, can I sign you up for the union? That is, we all know what that opens the door to. It's dangerous for America, it's dangerous to small business, and I think it's a threat to one of the fundamentals of democracy.
Will you veto the bill?
In a New York minute, if I may say that, I will do everything in my power to block such legislation. And imagine Senator Obama, Nancy Pelosi, and Harry Reid pushing the union agenda. It'd be very, very, very unfortunate.
Let me go back to the tax issue. Over the long term, you want to keep taxes low. We are spending $10 billion a month on the war in Iraq. Why not make the American people pay for it?
Because we study history. History shows that if you practice protectionism and isolationism, and at the same time you raise taxes, you send an economy from a recession into a depression. That's history. The guy's name was Herbert Hoover, and it was aided and abetted later on. This is the worst time to raise anyone's taxes. And obviously, Senator Obama has now, thanks to Joe the plumber and other research, have authenticated, he wants to redistribute the wealth. He wants to, quote, spread the wealth around by taking money from one group of Americans and giving it to another. And as you know, that number at level of income goes down and down and down and down.
Will you ask Treasury Secretary Hank Paulson to stay on at least temporarily if you win?
I think it would depend on the situation at the time. I'm disappointed that Secretary Paulson has not put first emphasis on buying these home mortgages and keeping people in their home. So I admire and respect him, but I certainly would have somebody who would give that our highest priority. As you know, the chairperson of the FDIC has also agreed with that. Get the home values under control and back up again.
We're going to continue our conversation, but I'm going to send it back to the live program right now. I'd like to ask you how your partnership is going and how unified you are, actually. That will be on the closing bell today. We'll also talk about the redistribution of wealth. In the meantime, I'll send it back to you, Mark and Aaron.
Thank you, Maria. An interesting interview, lots there. We'll obviously see the rest of it on the closing bell. We have our market guests ready to react to their answers, particularly on the